At one time, Rome was the richest and most powerful empire in the world. Grand markets, stunning architecture, and thousands of active citizens reflected its strength. Trade connected the empire with Africa, Europe, and Asia. But behind all this glory, the seeds of economic collapse were already taking root. The Roman Forum was the center of politics and trade. Leaders held meetings and merchants conducted business every day. But as the empire expanded, the cost of administration grew rapidly. The gold and silver needed to sustain the economy began to decline. Rome's economy relied heavily on gold and silver coins. But after years of war and overspending, the supply of precious metals decreased. The government began debasing coins by mixing in cheaper metals. This reduced the value of money and damaged public trust. Many emperors were alarmed by the state of the imperial treasury. Endless wars and luxury drained resources. Even increased taxes could not fully stabilize the situation. The economy slowly began to lose balance. The military consumed the empire's largest budget. As funds dried up, paying soldiers became difficult. Many could no longer afford proper weapons or armor. Rome's once powerful army started to weaken. As currency lost its value, inflation swept through the markets. The prices of goods rose sharply, and merchants struggled to survive. Ordinary citizens found it harder to buy food and daily necessities. Economic collapse began to affect society at every level. Rome's economic weakness encouraged barbarian tribes to attack its borders. Weak defenses and declining military strength made it nearly impossible to stop the invasions. The empire could no longer secure its frontiers. When the invasions began, thousands of citizens fled their homes. Economic instability had already weakened daily life. Cities that once symbolized progress became places of fear and uncertainty. The city walls were once a symbol of unbeatable defense, but poorly trained and under-equipped soldiers failed to protect them. Economic decay directly contributed to military defeat. The Senate struggled to find solutions. Some wanted higher taxes, others demanded lower military spending. Political division and corruption only deepened the crisis. Leadership grew weaker as the economy declined. The rural economy also began to collapse. Heavy taxation forced farmers to abandon their land. Food production declined sharply, leading to shortages in the cities. Vast areas were left uncultivated. Officials tried to track the economy through scrolls and records, but the decline was clear. Currency values dropped, and trade networks shrank. The system could no longer sustain itself. Rome's road network was once the best in the world, but with no funds for maintenance, roads began to break down. Trade and communication suffered greatly as infrastructure decayed. The Forum, once a symbol of power and prosperity, gradually turned into ruins. Government paralysis and economic decline rendered the center ineffective. The heart of Rome stopped beating. Even religious institutions could not escape the crisis. Donations stopped, maintenance ended, and sacred buildings were abandoned. Economic collapse affected culture and faith as well. Rome's aqueducts were engineering marvels, but without proper maintenance, they began to fall apart. Water supply dropped, and everyday life in the cities suffered. As coins lost value, people returned to bartering. Buying food with money became difficult. Economic instability pushed society backward. The once glorious Roman legions became ineffective. Training, supplies, and equipment all declined. Without strong borders, the empire could no longer defend itself. To fund expenses, the government melted coins and produced lower quality currency. Real gold and silver content dropped. People lost faith in the economy, and inflation got worse. In the end, Rome collapsed. Economic bankruptcy, political weakness, and military failure combined to bring down a once invincible empire. History reminds us that even the greatest powers can fall through financial mismanagement.